Well, those steps: realize that Indians and Europeans were all peers and co-equals. Learn so you can share your surprise of these compelling stories. Love your way of life. And why not transform some attitudes and worldviews? So let's increase our understanding. Help those around us. You can share what it is that you've learned. You can share what it is that's resonated with you. You can share the adjustment of worldviews and attitudes. Now, the faulty attitudes are hurting us. They're hurting you. They're hurting the next generation. Yes, now these inaccurate worldviews are about to harm a whole new generation. But this time, harm is expected to be deep and widespread. But there's a shameful legacy that's about to be revealed. The psychologists are already advising school teachers what to say at the end of these classes. They visit residential schools, and the children are confused. Some of the shameful legacy stories didn't happen very long ago, the 1960s, 1970s, 1980s. Things were going on that people consider to be very shameful. Reading these topics, when I say shameful legacy, and you may be wondering, what does the shameful legacy mean? There's a lot of the stories and the actual true accounts that you can barely get through to the end of them. They're very horrific. Most stories of contact between Indigenous and Europeans start out bad, and they continue to get worse and worse. These are not uplifting stories. These are not proud stories. That's why they're invisible, because they're not proud stories. Shame doesn't feel good. People don't want to share stories that they're ashamed of. Pride feels good. Being proud feels great. Being ashamed doesn't feel so good. So that's now the tables are about to be turned, and these kids, which they have a lot to deal with in terms of what's going on and some things that need to be fixed in the world, but this is one that they're going to get hit very hard with. So when I talk about the shameful legacies, that's what I'm referring to. You can just Google genocide and spend a very not uplifting time going through some of the histories and some of the real life stories and things that happened. Slavery is another example of that. If you were just to read some of the simple accounts of the slave ships, you get halfway through those books and you just say, well, what's the point? Why would I do this? Why do I want to feel this way? So that's what I'm referring to about inaccurate worldviews ready to harm and do harm. We haven't maybe experienced that much of that in the last 100 years, the last 20 years, but it's on the increase now. And certainly people are looking at things through a different lens, and kids today look at things through a different lens. They want to see past the smoke and mirrors. They want to see what's really going on. They want the truth. So remember, I'm telling you the truth.